Year over year, prices at the pump have seen a slight decline, according to CA Quebec's latest annual report. Our Braden Jagger-Haynes joins us with more on this. Braden, drivers may have noticed lower prices, but some areas of the province are luckier than others.
Well, Laura, in general, according to this latest report from CA Quebec, which is a tabulation of all of the gas prices year over year, between 2025 and 2024, there is a slight decrease, about 5.8%, according to their figures. And that is across the board. When it comes to the gas prices, they say they are down last year because, well, of the general price of crude oil. The price of a barrel was down last year, and that was some relief here at the pump when it comes to gas prices. However, when it comes to drivers in the areas of Montreal and Laval, they get the short end of the stick when it comes to their prices. On average, they are the highest in the area of Quebec, in the province. And that average price was sitting about $1.58 for both Montreal and Laval. Coincidentally, they are also the areas that pump the most fuel into their vehicles. If you're interested in the lowest price, well, you have to take a little bit of a drive. In the Lac Saint Jean region, that's where it has the lowest price when it comes to the gas pump. As for the drivers here this morning, I spoke to some of them, and they say that they have noticed that there was a slight decrease in prices. However, they find them still quite high. Take a listen to this.
Portefeuille, là, ça.
Comment c'est habitué de payer cher?
That gentleman both saying that their wallets are feeling the pinch and that they're starting to get used to paying high prices. And that's quite normal. In the Montreal area, we topped in the country when it comes to the amount of taxes, 33% to be exact, on 1 liter of gasoline alone. As for the prices this morning, Laura, well, they're sitting at $1.49 if you're interested here in the downtown core. I did.
Okay. It's a deal. Okay, thanks, Braden. That's Braden Jagger-Haynes reporting. Well, speaking of gas, concern is in the air for Montrealers traveling to Cuba. Air Canada suspending all its flights to the Caribbean nation amid a fuel shortage there. Air Canada announced it is suspending service to Cuba through the end of the season. They'll be offering refunds and will be sending empty planes to pick up the 3,000 customers already there. Cuba is no longer able to get its oil supply from Venezuela following the U.S. intervention to remove President Maduro. President Donald Trump has threatened tariffs on any country selling oil to Cuba. Other Canadian airlines say they're still able to operate normally, but travel experts are advising caution.
We knew there were problems coming in, but nothing escalating as quick as it is right now. So it kind of changes everything during the vacation.
You're seeing power shortages. Generators are not having enough fuel. You're seeing cars unable to gas up. You're seeing, airports, shutting down as a result of not having enough jet fuel.
People who have flown Transat and WestJet are being told their flights have not changed and that those airlines are able to operate their Cuba flights using contingency plans like fueling up during other technical stops along the way. The long-awaited report looking into the SAC-Click fiasco will be released next week. Judge Denis Galland will present his recommendations and findings next Monday. The report looking into cost overruns at the Quebec Automobile Insurance Board's online transition could be damaging to some key cabinet ministers. Geneviève Guilbeault, who was transport minister at the time, testified about not being aware of exploding costs. 131 witnesses were heard last year during the inquiry. Quebec's Auditor General reported that the program cost taxpayers $1.1 billion, 500 million more than the original estimates. The Quebec government is reviewing its strategy for the electrification of public transit vehicles. The government had set targets that 55% of the province's fleet of buses needed to be fully electric by 2030. Yesterday, Public Transport Minister Jonathan Julien said those targets would be under review and be pushed back. The heads of all the province's transit agencies have been saying for months those targets were unrealistic. Julien also said the government would invest in subsidizing hybrid vehicles. Transit agencies applauded the move.
Today, Minister shows us that he understands what we asked for more than a year, so this is a good news. Let's continue in that way. We want to have people on our buses, let it be electric or hybrid. Most important is to have people in buses.
The government said it would reveal more details on the new strategy in the next few weeks. The Quebec government has launched a $1 million pilot project it hopes will put a dent in the number of residential evictions. It's a partnership with Quebec's Housing Tribunal, Maison du Père, and the Old Brewery Mission. Tenants who have cases before the Housing Tribunal and are at risk of homelessness will be referred by the tribunal to either of the two shelters, where they'll get help to work with the landlord to either stop the eviction or delay it until a solution is found. Tenants must fit certain profiles, like suffering from mental illness or have substance abuse problems, to be eligible.
So we're talking about dozens to start with, probably hundreds over the course of the first couple of months of the pilot project.
Housing rights advocates are happy with the move, but caution that this program is just one potential solution to the housing emergency. The hope is that the project will eventually roll out across the province if successful. Montreal's public transit system is back up and running this morning after a significant portion was paralyzed by service interruptions Monday morning. In a rare occurrence, both the Metro's Yellow Line and the REM light rail network were down for close to 2 hours yesterday morning, just after 8 o'clock. In Longueuil, a pipe burst underground, causing minor flooding on the tracks, stopping all trains. The incident coincided with service interruptions on the REM, leaving thousands of South Shore Transit users scrambling. Emergency shuttle buses were quickly deployed in both events to help bring riders downtown. Montreal Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada wants to put the city back into the global spotlight. Monday afternoon, the mayor announced a new bureau called Montreal Culture City. Its members will be responsible for positioning the city as an international hub, highlighting Montreal's unique culture and assets. Representatives of all three levels of government will be on board, as well as Tourism Montreal and the Montreal Chamber of Commerce. Montreal Culture City was first created in 2007 as a roundtable alliance. It created the Quartier des Spectacles right next to Place des Arts. The mayor underlines the global appeal of these projects and the importance of investing in them.
Making sure that we're coordinating ourselves to step up and making sure that we're not losing our space in our city in that competition to the other cities in Canada and the world.
Yesterday's announcement is part of the mayor's 10-point action plan within the first 100 days of her mandate. The Canadian women's hockey team beat Czechia 5-1 at the Winter Olympics on Monday. Canada scored 4 goals in the first, with 2 being just 39 seconds apart. But Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin left the ice after a Czech player sent her into the boards. She suffered a knee injury and did not return to the game. Canada added another goal in the second, and Czechia grabbed one back in the third. Today, the rivalry reignites as Canada takes on the U.S.